was so confused because he thought the boys would continue and the girls would stop, but then it was the other way around.
Being, enthusiastic about motorsports, I wanted to see my kids into that sport as well. The boys had no interest at all.
They were the only two girls in the Arabic world.
Wow, what a remarkable and talented young person. Just amazing, so cool what she does. And this documentary does a good job at showing us that, letting us into her life, showing us a little bit about what makes her tick. And yeah, you're kind of rooting for her the whole time, and it's just a really it's a great feeling of satisfaction watching this one.
I really like the introduction to Hamda. Her father is describing what racing means to him as mechanics bust out tools and pimp his ride. Even like that the filmmakers included the employees at the racetrack and setting the racetrack up, and the kind of a little look at the behind the scenes impact. I love the irony that none of the sons enjoy racing anymore, and it's up to the daughters to carry the torch now. Hamda is such a serious and dedicated competitor, and I thought that the film really captured that aspect of her. Just to be so young and have such a strong vision like she does. I thought this was another well-balanced documentary where the subject is fully experienced and fully realized.
It's a fascinating documentary because apparently she's one of the only two girls in the Middle East who do this kind of competition in amongst the boys. And there are lots of amazing shots in this film, great cinematography, close-ups of tires and her in her helmet and tools and her working out. And it's very inspiring, this film, to other young girls who are interested in this very exciting sport. I love the fact that there are lots of shots of her and her family supporting her. It's a very dynamic film, and it goes through the trials and tribulations of what she's experiencing. And I just love the shots of her in the stadium all by herself, contemplating her loss, and then the shots of her winning with the two guys on the pedestal with her. It's a great film, very interesting, well done.
I really enjoyed the story that Hamda told. The way that we got the perspective of the girls and in the racetrack world, which I was not familiar with, so it was really cool to see how it combined the personal experience of the sisters and kind of that moment from being competitive and not winning to learning and having strategy and having a bit of that conversation and seeing that dedication, and then getting to see her win and recognizing that it's a more male dominated sport. It was also really cool just to have the female perspective in it, and I really enjoyed that. And I loved the shots throughout, where there was just music and the doves waiting before the race started, or the countdown of the clock. I thought that worked really well in terms of almost showing us her perspective.
I love the fact that we got to see her family life and see her behind the scenes of when she's not racing. And I loved not only her passion, but her entire family's passion and support for her racing. It was very delightful to watch that. One thing that I really liked was when she was talking about how it kind of came to a surprise to her father that the daughters wanted to keep racing and the sons didn't. So I really like that she broke the status quo and did it so well. And it's really admirable hearing how much their entire family gave up for racing and how dedicated they are to something that they love. And the ending was very satisfying because we got to see her win. So yeah, I really enjoyed this show.
An inspiring, powerful recount of what humans can accomplish regardless of gender. It is lovely to see bits and pieces of this family's daily life and get to know from a closer perspective about Hamda's motivations, thoughts, fears, frustrations, and also accomplishments. It was a truly inspiring and role modeling film I really enjoyed.
Something that this really brings to light to me is how every athlete has a story, has a real, and often there are these really incredible stories behind not just how they got to where they are, but what fueled their passion for that particular, sport that they undertake. In this case, we have quite an unsuspected, well, not unsuspected, but not conventional, right? Necessarily. We have an Arabic girl who loves to race and who's great at it, who's a great racer. And this is something even more interesting, is that it trends in her family. Her siblings have done it, and she loves it. We love to see the support that she has from her family. It's such a crucial part of the piece itself, how you see them give her words of encouragement and a kiss on the helmet right before going off on a race. It's really remindful of how crucial that familial support is in an athlete's life. It's a great piece for people who enjoy racing or not. It reminds us to keep pursuing our dreams and going after what we want, regardless of the obstacles that may be in our way.
It's a super inspiring short film. It's really, really well made. It would be pretty cool to see this adapted into like a feature-length documentary, because there's just so much going on. It's a very complex story. She's like a very complex protagonist, just with like all the different layers that she's dealing with. Being a female like Formula One prospect driver with like an older sister. It's just, there's a lot of like really cool, interesting aspects to this story, and I really enjoyed it. It's super compelling. It's very inspiring. I also thought the use of like a very minimal soundtrack was an interesting choice, because like it's kind of more present towards the end, but throughout the majority of it, it's like silent, which I feel like submerges you in the moment even more. And yeah, so I really dug it.